Well, there has been report after report after report suggesting that Tottenham want to go out and sign another attacker before the transfer window closes, and out of nowhere, we seem to have brought one in. Wilson Odobert has signed from Burnley, and the news was just completely dropped on us on Friday morning. Johan Lange, living up to his reputation as someone who works completely under the radar. Wilson Odobert being sort of linked with the club early on Friday morning around 8, 9, 10 o'clock, and then I think it was less than an hour later announced by Tottenham as a signing. £25 million plus add-ons is the quoted fee according to Alistair Gold and a few other journalists as well. 19-year-old winger/midfielder Wilson Odobert joining the club can be registered in time for Tottenham's opening Premier League game against Leicester on Monday night. But I know what you're all wondering. Who is Wilson Odobert? Is he a good signing? Does he fit Ange's project? Oh, I'm here to tell you and explain exactly why Ange Postecoglou wanted to bring Odobert into the club. So Odobert, of course, impressed for Burnley in the Premier League last season, and he earned a call-up to France's Olympic squad over the summer. He is very much described as a raw talent with lots of potential, which has been a common theme with Ange Postecoglou over the last year that he's been in charge of Tottenham. We've seen it with the likes of Lucas Bergwall coming in, Archie Gray, players that have showed their talent and their potential, but aren't necessarily the star names and star players that fans are perhaps expecting a club like Tottenham to bring in. So what sort of qualities does Wilson Odobert have? Well, he is a winger or attacking midfielder. He can play on the right or the left or even through the middle if needed. So it brings us that versatility to be able to rotate the squad and bring perhaps an impact off the bench if we need it in games. He is someone who loves to receive the ball at his feet and dribble at his opponents. He is very much a dribbling specialist rather than a perhaps running in behind traditional winger like, let's say, someone like Timo Werner might prefer. Odobert prefers to receive the ball to feet and take on his man and beat him, something that I think we know that Ange Postecoglou values in a winger, someone who is very direct and will like to get past their man and then either deliver or shoot. Odobert is very much that type of player. Of course, we know that Burnley got relegated from the Premier League last season. However, there are some very, very interesting stats about Odobert that I think you're going to want to hear before you form a judgment on whether you think it's a good signing or not. Last season, Odobert completed 53 dribbles in the Premier League. That is more than any other teenager in the division. To break that down for you, he averaged 4.72 dribbles per game in the Premier League over a 38-game season and completed 2.27 dribbles a game. That ranks him in the 99th percentile for the league in both of those stats. So there are very, very few players who had better statistics than Wilson Odobert when it came to dribbling, attempted take-ons and completed take-ons in the Premier League. His ball carrying is probably what sets him apart from a lot of other wingers of this style. And one of the main reasons for him being such an excellent dribbler is that he's very, very comfortable on both feet. It means he is more than willing to take his player on the outside and down the touchline, or he's happy to cut in as well. If you watch the videos and the compilations of Wilson Odobert, you can see in a lot of the clips, he actually controls the ball with his left foot before taking off and dribbling with his right foot. But as I said, he likes to use his shoulders, use his body, feint and drop and then go. He's very, very quick, can accelerate very quickly. But the good thing is as well, he's very quick over a longer distance. He's got that explosive pace that, again, is a theme at Tottenham with Ange in charge. Brennan Johnson has it and Timo Werner has it. Manor Solomon has it as well. And he scores goals with both his right and left foot as well. So he's very, very comfortable in that aspect of his play. He's already off the mark this season as well. He scored a goal in Burnley's win over Luton in the Championship opener last week. And yes, we are talking about a player who is playing in the Championship, but a lot of what we have perhaps seen and know about Odobert is based on his performances in the Premier League with Burnley last term. Now, this is where it gets a little bit interesting. Compared to every other Tottenham winger, so every winger that we currently have at the club, Odobert ranks higher than them for progressive carries, for dribbles, and for key passes. And to be honest with you, Brennan Johnson is the only winger that really trumps him in some of the other stats that are recorded for a winger. So he is someone that will be very, very effective against a low block team. And we know that Tottenham have notoriously struggled to break low blocks down, particularly last season. So Odobert is the sort of recruitment that we need to be able to get a bit more direct and to be willing to run at their player. He averages 4.38 progressive carries per game, as well as 2.06 progressive carries into the penalty box. So it's not like he is just doing it in the middle of the pitch or in the opposition's half. He is getting past his man and then getting into the penalty box, which is crucial. And it's not like he is just a one-trick pony as well. Odobert is very, very good and slick with his pass, and he averages 5.28 progressive passes per game. Again, more than any other Tottenham winger. Now, of course, he's not perfect, and perhaps his final ball and his judgment in the final third does need a little bit of work, which, again, it links to a lot of the wingers Tottenham do have. I think Ange is very much on board with taking players on and trying to progress them and develop them and make them better and give them that extra bit of quality. So as I say, his final ball can be very hit and miss. However, he has very clearly been signed as a raw talent, someone that Ange will work with and make better over time. Look, I know a lot of Tottenham fans aren't going to be particularly pleased with this signing, and I agree, he is not necessarily a player who is going to take the club to another level when it comes to progressing up the table and challenging for silverware. But this isn't a bad signing. I'm not going to sit here and say that Odobert is someone that should be starting for Tottenham every single week. I would imagine that he will probably be more of a squad player to start off with anyway. Tottenham have also had a homegrown problem emerge over the last couple of weeks, and I believe the way that it works, having signed for Burnley when he was 18 years old, in 2 years' time will register as a homegrown player. He won't be a club-trained homegrown player, but he will register as homegrown, such as his age. Ultimately, the final point is this. He slots straight into Ange Postecoglou's long-term plan for Tottenham. He is 19 years old, so he ticks that youth box very nicely. He is a direct, quick winger, someone we know that Ange loves. And like I always say when it comes to Tottenham transfers, if it is someone the manager wants in, you have to get behind and you have to back it. I'm not saying that should be the end of Tottenham's transfer business this summer. I think there is definitely more to be done. Having done the research and watched clips and looked at videos of Odobert, and having watched him in a few games last season, particularly against Tottenham, he's definitely not a bad player. He's no Pedro Neto, we know that, and I think it was revealed that Spurs were dealt a bit of a blow by not bringing him into the club. But if this is the alternative, then so be it. The bottom line is, he is a former PSG academy product. He played 35 times for Burnley across all competitions last season. He scored 5 goals. He's a regular France under-21 international. There is a lot of potential there. Research I've done on him suggests that he will fit into Tottenham very well, especially now we've brought someone like Dominic Solanke in as a striker. With Odobert being so direct and willing to get into those spaces in the final third and beat his man, it is another player who will be able to deliver crosses and find Dominic Solanke, who we know is going to get into the right positions to score goals in the penalty box. And I also think he will link up well with the likes of James Maddison with the quick 1-2s and with intricate passing and triangles in the middle of the pitch, and of course in the opposition half as well. Only 3 teenagers in Europe's top 5 leagues made more successful dribbles than him last season. That is very impressive for a 19-year-old who played for a team that were really poor in the Premier League last season. So let's wait and see what he can bring. Let's wait and see if he is worth this 25 million plus add-ons. I think Burnley have got a 10% sell-on fee as well, and he has signed a 5-year deal at Tottenham. But you never know with things like this. It could turn out in 2 or 3 years' time, like with a lot of the other youth players we've signed, to be a fantastic move. But overall, I'm happy with it. Let's get some more signings done. Let's push on. And let's reserve our judgment until we've watched Odobert in a Tottenham shirt. I hope the research that I've done on this video and the clips that you've seen have helped you form a bit more of a rational judgment rather than just basing it on emotion. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. The Premier League is well and truly back. But for now, that's all from me. Enjoy your weekend, and as always, come on you Spurs.